If you're a resident of Philadelphia and have unearned income, you must file and pay the school income tax. Unearned income is income from investments and other sources which are unrelated to employment. Some examples are dividends from stocks, interest, and earnings from S corporations. The school income tax, or SIT, is due every year at the same time you file your personal federal income tax returns, usually April 15th. In this video, we'll show you how to complete the school income tax return, line by line. This video is helpful, but it is not tax advice. We urge taxpayers to work with a qualified tax professional who can help you make the decisions for your unique situation. It's best to file and pay the school income tax online at phila.gov/pay. This video will help you file SIT on paper or electronically. Filing online reduces the chance of errors or of a lost return. Paying online gets you immediate confirmation, and you don't have to fuss with payment coupons. For the purposes of this video, we'll be looking at a 2017 SIT form, but new forms are published every year. If you need a form, find it at beta.phila.gov/revenue/forms. To ensure accuracy, always use the right form for the year you're filing. Using another year's form will only delay your return and can result in late charges. Now let's get started. This is a City of Philadelphia school income tax return. The form tax year appears on the top left. SIT is due around April 15th of each year for your unearned income from the previous year. On the top right, enter your 9-digit Social Security number. If you want to file jointly, enter your spouse's Social Security number below your own. If you file separately on your federal returns, you can still file jointly for Philadelphia school income tax. Also, there is no obligation to file SIT jointly. Under Taxpayer Name and Address, enter your full name and street address. Remember, SIT is only for Philadelphia residents. If you don't, and have never lived in Philadelphia, you don't pay this tax. Don't report negative numbers. If you lost money last year in any of the income categories listed below, just put in a 0. If you enter a loss, it can be misinterpreted as a gain, and you'll receive a bill. If your address changed since the last time you filed the school income tax, you must use the change form to report the move. You can download and print a change form from our website, beta.phila.gov/tax-change. You can also change your address online. Go to phila.gov/pay. Log into our eFile ePay site and access your taxpayer information profile. If you filed the school income tax return previously, but must now make changes, complete a new return showing the correct year and simply place an X in this box to indicate it is an amended return. You can use the next set of boxes to let us know if you are a partial year resident. Remember, school income tax is due only for the time you were living in Philadelphia. Fill out these last date boxes if you started out the tax year in Philadelphia but moved out of the city before the end of the tax year. Line 1. Net taxable dividends. Dividends are income people receive from mutual funds or stocks they own from corporations. This is often reported to you on a Form 1099 DIV. Dividends are taxable for the school income tax. Mutual fund income may or may not be taxable for SIT depending on its source. Interest paid to you by the U.S. federal government, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, or any counties, cities, towns, or school districts in Pennsylvania are not taxable for SIT. The interest may be reported to you as dividends on your mutual fund statements. However, dividends from a mutual fund that came from corporations, foreign government bonds, or bonds from any of the other 49 states are taxable and must be included in Line 1. If you have dividends from both taxable and non-taxable sources, you'll have to check the statement that was provided to you by your mutual fund. Line 2. Taxable interest. Interest that you earn through your bank accounts, such as savings, checkings, or CDs, are not taxable for SIT. Interest that is taxable is interest from holding someone else's mortgage, or interest from a loan you've made to someone. More commonly, interest added on this line comes from interest earned on corporate bonds. If you don't have this kind of unearned income, simply leave this line blank. That's a general rule for the entire return. Only enter in amounts for unearned income you have. Leave lines blank when you don't. Line 3. Subchapter S Corporation Income Distribution.
If you own an S corporation, you're going to receive an IRS Form K-1, and it will show your income from that corporation. The income that is distributed to you by your S corporation is taxable for SIT and should be included in this line. Remember, it's not the income you earned that shows up on the Form K-1, it's the income you received from the S corporation.
Line 4. Limited partnership income. If you're in a partnership that you don't do any work for, you really just have money invested in it, and the partnership is not paying Philadelphia's net profit tax, then you would owe school income tax on the income from that partnership. The IRS Form 1065 K-1 will show you the amount you need to enter on this line. Line 5. Taxable income received by a beneficiary of an estate or trust. If you received a K-1 from an estate or a trust, and you received a distribution from the estate or trust, you should put that income on this line. If your estate or trust is based in Philadelphia, but your address is outside the city, you are not liable for school income tax. This tax is only for residents of Philadelphia. You may not be liable for this income if the estate or trust paid the tax itself. If you are unsure, we recommend you check with a tax professional. Line 6. Net short-term capital gains, held 6 months or less. If you held an asset, such as a stock in a corporation, a work of art, or any other investment, for 6 months or less, and made money when you sold it, add that amount to this line. Assets held for more than 6 months are not taxable for SIT. Line 7. Net rental income. This line is for income from real estate that you own, but is not considered a business. The most common example are folks who own a duplex or a triplex. They live in one unit and rent the other units out. Landlords with this kind of situation are not required to register as a business. They can report their income from rent on this line with a school income tax return, and are not liable for business taxes. Line 8. Other taxable income. Another example of unearned income is cash lottery winnings. Your winnings, minus your total losses, are taxable for SIT and should be listed on this line. Royalties are another example of income to report on this line. If you're not sure if other unearned income is taxable for school income tax, contact the Department of Revenue or seek the advice of a tax professional. Line 9. Total taxable income. To calculate your total taxable income, add lines 1 through 8. Enter the amount in line 9. Line 10. Deductible expenses. Deductible expenses are expenses directly incurred in the production of the income listed above. Examples are the annual fee you pay for a safety deposit box, or the fees you paid your accountant for preparing the school income tax return. Margin interest expenses also go on this line. Margin interest is the interest on money you borrowed to make an investment. Line 11. Net taxable income. To calculate your net taxable income, subtract line 10 from line 9. Enter the amount in line 11. If you are completing your SIT return online, the system will calculate this line automatically. Line 12. Gross tax due. If you didn't have your calculator out already, you'll want it now. To calculate your gross tax due, multiply the amount on line 11 by the current tax rate. This is what you owe, and it goes on line 12. Again, if you're using the online form, this amount has already been calculated for you. The tax rate for SIT can change, and this is why it's important to use the correct form for the year for which you are filing. Line 13. Credit from prior years. If you had a credit in a prior year SIT return and you roll that amount over, or you made an extension or early payment to the Department of Revenue, you're going to claim it on this line. Line 14. If line 12 is greater than line 13, enter the difference here. This is the school income tax you owe the City of Philadelphia. If you received a payment coupon from the city for the school income tax, you will also enter this amount into the payment coupon. If you did not receive a payment coupon from the city, you can print out your own payment coupon from our website, www.phila.gov/pay. Another option is to pay online. You can pay online even if you choose to complete and mail a paper SIT return. Line 15. If line 12 is less than line 13, you overpaid. You have two options after you figured out how much you overpaid. Request a refund by entering the amount overpaid on line 15A, then skip line 15B. But you can also ask us to apply the amount overpaid to next year's school income tax. If you prefer this option, enter the amount on line 15B. Finally, you need to sign and date your school income tax form. We also ask for your phone number in case we have any questions while we are processing your return. There is a full page of instructions for school income tax on our website, beta.phila.gov/school-income-tax. The instructions will include the correct address for mailing your return to the Department of Revenue. You've now completed the school income tax return. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook @PhilaRevenue. And thank you for watching this video.